That's it.
Good.
Good.
Very nice.
Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. We like to have a perfect balance in life. Normally, we all have this funny notion that spiritual life is like a religious life. See, there are three words. One is religion, second is philosophy, and third is spirituality. Religion is that where God is not. This is only fighting. Then the philosophy is that where wisdom is not. There is only imagination. Where God and wisdom stay together is called as spirituality. So, religious life we need not worry about. Philosophy we need not bother ourselves. What we are required to get in is the spiritual life. Now what happens in case of religion and philosophy? Religion is limited to the temple and the church. Morning 5-10 minutes, evening 5-10 minutes, and rest of the time frustration and disgusted existence. That is what we imagine by religion. So we go to the temple or the church and present our list to the Lord. Oh Lord, these are the things, kindly take care of them, I am busy. So He becomes the means and our life becomes the goal. What should be in fact? Our life is the means and He is the goal. So we do the other way around. And that is why if you see our gods, they have got this kind of posture. Yesterday I told you. This means enough. How much are you going to ask? And this kind of palm, it is, if you don't listen, I am going to give you one. See, that is what we understand by religion. And therefore, these so-called religious people, they neither have faith in God nor have confidence in themselves. They grow weak day by day, constantly living in a fear psychosis. See? Because how the religion controls the masses. See? Religion has to control huge number of people, lakhs and millions and trillions. They have to be controlled. How to control them? You know, you must have known, these days some softwares have come which can be loaded on your iPhone. And from there, wherever you are, you can control all the gadgets and switches inside your house. See, suppose you are reaching home and you have to start the AC. It was switched off because you are out of station. And you will be reaching after maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. So, from your mobile phone, you can switch on and switch off. Remote control. Exactly the same way, the masses are controlled by a remote control, and this remote control has got two switches, two controls. One is the control of guilt, and second is the control of fear. A guilty person and a fearful person can be controlled only by words. You don't have to do anything to them. This is how these two elements are introduced under the disguise of religion, and therefore you go and confess, I have done this thing, I have done this thing, I have done this thing, please help me. Then we are told, okay, I will talk to him and then take care of your things. See? So every time we see that man before whom we confess, there is again revival of the guilt. See? Second thing is fear. If you do this thing, you will go to hell. Nobody has seen what hell is. But hell is frightening millions. One day, somewhere, one person was very much, cross with me. And he said, if you talk like this, you will go to hell. I asked him, what about you, dear? Where will you go? He said, of course, I am going to go to heaven. I said, if you are going to go to heaven, I don't want to come there, because you will trouble me there also. See, this hell and heaven, fear is for the babies. It is not for the really grown-ups. And if you are not afraid, then even hell cannot do anything to us. See, friends, therefore, religion tries to control the masses through these two things, guilt and fear. The other thing, philosophy. Philosophy only increases the confusion further by giving many imaginations. See? And what is a philosophy? Philosophy is a delayed wisdom. See? A married man telling a young man, come on, yeah, don't get married. There is nothing in marriage. This he tells after getting married. So this is called a delayed wisdom. Like a tube light. You switch on, it will switch on after 10 minutes. See? So, in philosophy, there is no wisdom, and in religion, there is no God. Only fear and guilt and imagination and regrets. Now, the third option is the spiritual life. Spiritual life has a totally different approach. The first approach in spiritual life is spiritual life and our daily life, they cannot be separated. We have to lead our spiritual life 24/7. It is not only half an hour spiritual and after that spirited. No. It has to be 24/7. And therefore, if we want to really have a perfect balance in our day-to-day life, we have to lead a spiritual life and not a religious life. See? So, first step, now second step. What kind of traffic is going to face us, or we are going to face? We don't know. What is in our hands is our steering wheel. We have no control over what type of traffic is coming. So where should be our expertise? In controlling the traffic or in controlling our own vehicle? Exactly the same way. The outer world becomes a big problem if inside we are weaklings. Those who are weaklings, for them, this world is too much. Such people have nothing but only complaints. And such complaint masters They even complain to God, "Oh God, why did you create this terrible world?" See, one frustrated fellow asked me this question once. I said, "Look here, why are you looking like this?" He said, "I am angry with God." I said, "Why? Why did He create such a terrible world? Miseries everywhere, tsunami, terrorism, diseases, HIV, frustration, people dying of hunger. Go to Somali, see how terrible it is. Why God created such a terrible world?" I said, "Look here, before we go into that, let us find out. Did God tell you that He created the world? No. So why you blame Him? God did not create the world. You created the world. So you have to check. First principle. Second principle, we will always think in terms of our training, how we have trained ourselves. Take an example to understand the training. This is what will influence our balance in the outer world. There was a child, and the child was crying. And when I was passing by, there were 3 ladies there. So I asked them, I said, "Hey, why this child is crying? Do something." So when I asked, the 3 ladies were, one was a mother, Indian mother. Second was a doctor. And third was a social worker. So the Indian mother's love is stuffs the child with food. That is the love of the Indian mothers. So the Indian mother said, "Oh, the child may be hungry, therefore he is crying." That mother cannot think other than feeding. Till the child gets fed up, she keeps on feeding. Then the second lady, who was a doctor. So I asked her, "Mama, why this child is crying?" "Swamiji, he may be having an abdominal colic, and that's probably he is crying." A doctor cannot think health. He can think only diseases. Training, the third one, social worker. Social worker started giving a lecture. In today's world, I said, "Stop." Because once a social worker starts giving a lecture, you know it is a terrible thing. So these 3 people gave 3 types of imagination about the child crying. I said, "Hey, we are fortunate. The child is here. Let us ask him why he is crying." So we asked, "Hey dear, why are you crying?" He said, "Nothing, time pass." Now see, can you say that the child being a small baby telling lies, he is crying. He knows why he is crying. We all can only imagine. Exactly the same way. Why God has created this world, we can only imagine according to our training. The right way to get the right answer is to catch hold of the collar of the God and ask Him, "Come on, why did you create this world?" And for that, be devoted to Him. Surrender to Him. And then you will get answers to all your questions from within. See, friends, our mind is so disturbed on every issue. A disturbed mind is a mind of all the problems in the world. A cool, quiet mind is a solution for all the problems of the world. Because the other side of the problem is a solution. Once we are able to look at it from a different angle, see, friends, therefore, This balance in the outer world performance and inner spirituality can be attained if we focus our attention on our own abilities, our own standpoint, our own vision. See, how do we look at the world? Let us take 3-4 standpoints. One standpoint, that of the God, path of devotion. According to the path of devotion, look at the world as the God is looking at the world. How can we do that? Take a day-to-day example. This happened somewhere. I finished my lecture, a huge crowd, and after the lecture is over, normally in India we give prasad, some fruit or something like that, and the people come, they do namaskar and they give Guru Dakshina. It's a tradition. So many people finish, and then one young mother whom I knew when she was married, she came, Swamiji, this is my first baby, and I am so happy I could bring him to take your blessings, and I was sitting like this, and she kept that baby on my lap. I said, Mama, here all those people who have come and given me something as dakshina, it is my property. You have given me this baby. Now I will make this baby into a Swamiji. Thank you very much. And that mother started crying. No, Swamiji, not like that. I said, no, you can't take it back. See? Because you have given me on the Vyaspeeth. I can't return you. Thereafter, I was playing with the child, and the child started emitting the fragrance. I said, Mama, I think he has done what he should not have. Take him away. When I said like that, you know what the mother said? Swamiji, you are really great. I said, what happened? He has not gone for 3 days. So by my touch, he has gone to the toilet. And it was a great news for the mother. See, I looked upon the child as a dirty one, but the mother looked upon the child as, thank God, he is okay. See the difference in the vision. We look upon the world as a criminal place, and the Lord looks upon the world as his own creation. Now what is the difference? Standpoint we have to change. And once we take this standpoint in life, then we will come to know, in this world everything is happening perfectly well. See, we normally have complaints only because we are unable to change our standpoint. Like many people have this question. Swamiji, you all the time say Krishna, Krishna, you are the devotee of Krishna. I said, yes. Then, when is he going to take avatar? When is he going to descend? The world is so terrible now. Everywhere there are tsunami and these accidents and volcanoes and terrorism. When is he going to come down? So I tell them, there is still a lot of time. There is no hurry. This is the worst time. I said, how do you say this is the worst time? Before, it was not worse. I don't think. Okay. Afterwards, it will not be worse. It can't be worse than this. Okay. Earlier you were there? No. Later you will be there? No. Now the time is worse and you are there. So who is the culprit? You are the culprit. You change. See, friends, if we change ourselves, then only we can negotiate with the world without losing balance in our life. See, friends, it is extremely necessary A disturbed mind cannot perceive the situation correctly. A cool mind can understand the situation correctly and also interact as required. See the difference? And therefore, spirituality aims at working on our mind. See what is happening outside, and the result of that happening outside, where it is seen. If the result is seen outside, we are going away from ourselves. See? Like, I am talking to you. Now, where I am observing the result? If I am observing the result outside, in you, whether you change or you don't change, and if that is my criteria of talking to you, what will be the result? I will be frustrated with a guarantee because you will not change because of my talk, and I will be frustrated. See, I have been talking so much, but people don't change. Friends, God has failed to change His own creation. Do you think my lectures will change anybody? But if I have that folly, because of me the world changes, I guarantee my frustration. Now, second thing, when we are interacting with the world, where is our attention? Is our attention on ourselves? I have done this thing, I have done this thing, I have done this thing. All the time I. And as a result, our ego becomes fat, strong, thick. And more the ego, more is a miserable existence. We get hurt for every small little thing. Lesser the ego, we get less hurt. God has no ego, He is all bliss. So, whenever, whatever we are doing, if we get hurt, understand, the hood of the ego has come up. See. So when we interact, if our attention is on the world, frustration. If attention is on the I have done so much. We are bound to get hurt in life. Now the third place, where our attention could be. If our attention is on our mind and its quality. Before we started any undertaking, was our mind at peace? When we were going through the undertaking, was the peace undisturbed? And after the job is done, whether successfully or not successfully, is the equanimity of our mind maintained or not? See? Thus, we function outside, but our attention is on the quality of the mind with which we are functioning. See? You must be knowing, earlier days in India, you come now also, the barbers come with their razor, this big razor, and they all the time keep on sharpening. Because that is their instrument. The instrument with which the barber uses for shaving, he has to take care of it every now and then. In the same manner, which is the instrument by which we come in contact with the world? We come in contact with the world with the instrument called as mind. Now, how much time and attention we pay to take care of our surroundings? There should be nice lawns. They should be, labeled properly. The tree should be pruned properly. The other day when I was coming, I told my friend, I said, hey, I am coming from North Carolina. North Carolina is far beautiful than your New Jersey. How come? I said, look here, there everything was so perfectly done. Lawns are green and everything miles together properly cut, and the trees all around are beautifully pruned. And then here is all wild. See, in the same manner. Is our mind disciplined? Is it taken care of? See, our understanding is because there are thoughts in the mind, we are thinkers. No. Like trees are both the places, in the forest as well as in the garden. What is the difference between the two? In the forest, all the trees grow wild. No selection, no culling, no pruning, no irrigation. All kinds of wild animals are there. It's a fearful visit. But when we go to the garden, it is so beautiful because every plant is selected, planted, pruned, protected and taken care of by irrigation, fertilizer, etc. Exactly the same way. Are the thoughts in our mind selected, pruned, or they are the wild growth like a forest? And when we go to forest, we are afraid. Are we not afraid of our own mind? See how much frustrated we become. Then what do? Same thing what we do in the forest. We want to go away from the forest. So what we do? We go away from our mind. How? We want TV, we want mobile phone, we want newspaper, we want something or the other, so that we don't have to face our mind. And such a person, when he sits for meditation, there he has to face his own mind. And then the real challenge comes. We are unable to cope up. As if, there are volcanoes of thoughts constantly erupting. And we become more and more frustrated. And then we go and ask the teacher, normally my mind is okay, but whenever I sit for meditation, terrible thoughts come. I am not that bad. Where from the thoughts come? And we conclude. Before meditation, no bad thoughts. During meditation, bad thoughts. Therefore, meditation is the cause of bad thoughts. Then we take drinks and drugs and keep the mind cool. On the contrary, if we understand properly, with a cool mind, suppose the clothes are extremely dirty. Those boys who work in the garage, motor garage, their clothes are so dirty. If you take those clothes, soak them in the waters and apply soap and start washing with your hand, not in the machine, washing with the hand, what will happen? All the filth and the dirt will come out, is it not? So when the dirt will come out from the cloth, should we become happy or miserable? See, if the clothes are dirty, when we wash, milk will not come out of it. In the same manner, we have never taken care of our mind. It has become so dirty. And for the first time, when we start exposing ourselves to the mind, all the dirt starts surfacing. That time what is required is the courage. Let it go out, let it go out. Don't react. Depending upon the dirt that we have and depending upon how much time we have spent in our life to take care of the mind, in due time the mind will slowly start getting rid of all the unwanted thoughts. And then, to support it, we go to the satsanga as we have come here. And here when we come, we are told about the working of the mind. This is what we differ from the spirituality and on one side and religion and philosophy on the other side. See, I was in one of the universities here many years before, 20 years before, I don't remember which place. And that was my first lecture in an American university. So, like the hall was step by step up, and in the well I was standing. So, I had to look up to the students, and the students were looking down upon me. And then I finished Vedantic view of life. After the lecture was over, during the lecture, as you know, somebody sitting with the legs on the table, somebody with the coke in the hand, somebody with a girlfriend, boyfriend. In this manner, they were all sitting. And after the lecture was over, I went to the professor's room for a cup of tea. So he said, what do you like to eat? And I said, no, nothing. Just a glass of water is enough. You don't take drinks? It was cold time. I said, no, I don't take drinks. Smoke? I said, I don't smoke. He said, come on, it is okay for the lecture. But here your life should be real life. See? Because he was a teacher of philosophy. A philosopher is a preacher. And a spiritual person is a teacher. We don't have music preachers. We have got music teachers. The one who preaches need not practice. But the one who teaches must practice. After that was over, then he said, I have got one question. I said, yes. What is the question? Question is, I was surprised. The whole lecture, every student was listening and nobody left halfway. It was the first time I am in this university for last 25 years. Never I have seen such a thing. Even from my lecture also, students straight away walk away. We have no control. How come they were all sitting quiet and listening? What is the reason? I said, reason you ask them, not me. How do I know? See, friends, when the words carry the meaning, they alone can touch the hearts. When the words are hollow, without meaning, borrowed from the books, and vomited out without understanding, it becomes philosophy. And that is why our kids don't listen to us. Because our words carry no meaning. And this is all because we do not take care of our mind. In the story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a mother took her son to the great master and told that he is taking too much of sweets. So kindly tell him to stop eating. He will listen to you. So that great master said, bring him next Sunday. So this was repeated 4 or 5 times. And the 6th time, that master told, my dear child, don't eat too much of sweets. You have got bad teeth and it is not good for you. Okay? And the child said, okay, I will not eat. And he stopped eating. Now the mother was very angry. She sent the child outside and said, you have to only tell this much, that my dear child, don't eat sweets. He listened to you. Why didn't you tell him on the first day? You made me shunt here 5 times. Why? That great master said, before I tell the child, I must abstain myself from the sweets. Then my words carry meaning. See, we tell our children, don't get angry. Anger is bad. Don't you listen to me? See, friends, unless the knowledge is demonstrated in life, it is only words, words, words. Therefore, spirituality is knowledge demonstrated in life. So, when we thus look at the world as the God is looking at the world, we will have more of understanding and less of misunderstanding. Now, second standpoint, the standpoint of karma. Now, what the karma tells us, the karma brings a very important point. Not the rebirth and all that. That is the baby talks. Last life, this life, next life. It has no meaning. The karma has a basic principle that we are all expert in blaming others for our miseries. That is our default settings. See? So, spiritual life is stop blaming others and focus attention on yourself. How it can be done? I am miserable because of her. No, you are not miserable because of her. You are miserable because of your own karma. What karma? In the last life, you have tortured her. Therefore, in this life, she has come as your wife to take the revenge. No, but I don't remember. You may not remember, but this is the truth. Now be attentive. What exactly is meant is, whatever we have today, joy and sorrows, we are solely responsible for that and nobody else. That is the fundamental. And therefore, whatever quality of life we live today, that will determine our tomorrow, next life. Net result will be, we will remain responsible for our life and we will lead a very quality life thereafter. When this thing happens, then only we are walking the spiritual path. It is for this purpose the law of karma is told. Take this standpoint, become totally responsible for all the joys and sorrows of life and change yourself. The third standpoint is the standpoint of yoga. The most misunderstood word in the whole world is yoga. See? Yoga means what? Twisting the body. Twisting the body is not yoga. Straightening the mind, that is yoga. But instead of taking care of the mind, we are only busy, do this asana, that asana, and you see now all the asanas are named after animals. See, Ushtrasana, Matsyasana, Kurmasana, Bhujangasana. See, there is no human asana. Swamiji don't know, there is one. What is that? Shavasana. Human beings can only die, nothing else. See, friends, that is not yoga. Yoga means, according to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, yoga means tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam sanishchena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. Yoga means when the miseries come in our life, we refuse to be miserable. That is yoga. Miseries come in everybody's life. See? But the choice is given to us by the Lord, whether we get identified with the misery or not. For the miseries, we can blame the world. Miseries have come because of A, B, C, D. But we are all miserable by our choice. If you refuse to be miserable, even God cannot make us miserable. See, friends, this is what is the real meaning of yoga. And then from the knowledge point of view, when we look at the world, this world has been always like this. There is nothing worth in this world to get disturbed because of. Nothing more. When these problems were not there, volcanoes and earthquakes, we go and get, the petrol, gas. What is that petrol or the gas? Nothing but the fossil fuel. And what is fossil fuel? Our great-grandparents, somebody must have been buried in a big earthquake, and then, like in a big hot air oven or a pressure cooker, they were all cooked, and from there we take out the fossil fuel and burn. So, give me 1 liter of grandfather. This has always happened. There is nothing new in this world. See, friends, in today's world we talk about terrorism so much. What our Hitler Maharaj did is not even comparable to that. When this has not happened, instead of getting carried away, worried, sort out the problem and relax. That is important. So, from any standpoint, when we look at the world, it is we who have to change our focal length. See, when we go to the eye doctors, they don't give us vision. They help us in adjusting our focal length because our eye muscles have lost their capability to adjust the lens, and because of that we cannot have the proper focal length. So when we put the glasses, what happens? Focal length is adjusted, vision is already there. In the same manner, spirituality does not give us anything, only what we already have. It is revealed by adjusting our focal length. And once we understand this principle of adjusting the focal length, we will come to know those who are friends today, tomorrow they become enemy. Those who are enemy today, tomorrow they become friends. Those who are rich today, they become poor tomorrow. Those who are poor today, they become rich tomorrow. This is how the world has been. There is nothing new in this world that demands our so much of attention that we suffer because of that. No. Therefore, friends, the real balance between the spiritual life and the professional life is achieved when we learn to take care of our inside. About the professionalism, you know better than me. The only thing we have to understand is this. The professional life is limited in that particular profession. Suppose you are a doctor. So you are a doctor when you are looking at a patient and touching his pulse. Pulse or pulse? I think pulse.
Pulse, yeah.
That time you are a doctor. But when you are in front of your wife, you are no more a doctor. You are a bichara. Isn't it? You are a simple fellow, miserably standing. But when it comes to spiritual life, it is 24/7. It cannot be for a moment. So, when we are thus understanding, spiritual life is to be lived all the time, and with that spiritual foundation, whatever are our professional obligations, they are carried out perfectly well. See, the accidents which happen many places, the accidents do not happen because they are professionally bad drivers. Accidents happen because they are inside disturbed drivers. See, the other day I was in Australia, and a doctor, she was driving me. And I saw her, I said, Mama, today you are not well. You sleep. But I don't know what happened. She was extremely disturbed. No, Swamiji, I have to go. I have no choice. I have to go. I said, today you phone something and don't go. You are not well. I can see you. Yes, it's true, you are right. I am not well, but I have to go. I have no choice. So I said, I'll come with you then. I sat with her in the front seat and she was driving. So much off her, wits that a big, container, two containers together, long. They are coming in full speed and we have to take a right turn. They are in Australia, it is left side they drive. So they have to take the right turn. And therefore you have to wait. It was a red light. But she was in what mood, I don't know. She just crossed. And our car, we could feel the gush of the air as if the truck has just touched, kissed and gone away. And she was still not aware this has happened. I said, Mama, you will kill yourself and kill me also. Please park the car. Then, by God's grace, she listened and she parked the car. I called her husband. See. Now what was the reason? Not external. Inside. Therefore, friends, please remember, spiritual life is different from the religious life. Spiritual life is different from the philosophical life. When we are leading a spiritual life, we are ever cool, alert, vigilant. Three things. Such a person leads a life of spontaneity. It is not a mechanical existence. And you know what happens in religion and philosophy? Wherever life becomes mechanical, the charm is lost. See, many religious people, they are doing a lot of good things, but there is no charm in their life. This principle I discovered. I happened to visit one big factory where they were manufacturing files, the steel files for rubbing the things. And they had all kinds of files manufactured. There were more than about 800 workers, everybody with that machine. Huge complex. This happened in Goa, in India. So the owner took me to show the things. And he told me, every day we are exporting throughout the world at least 1 or 2 containers of files. I said, my God, how many people must be using it? So he was showing me all around. Then I said, can I talk to some worker? Yes, you can talk. So I stopped near one person and asked him. I said, if I talk, your work will hamper? He said, no, I can talk and do this also. Because his job was, when it comes, you have to put in a particular angle, then the serrations will be formed with a bang and it will go to the next operation. So I asked him, but are you not disturbed? He said, no, this I have been doing for last 20 years. Even with the closed eyes I can do it. I said, how do you like this job? What this job, Swamiji? Is it a job? I am worse than a robo. There is no charm. I said, then what do you do? This is how we drink. Whole day we are here living like a mechanical machines. Take it out, put there, take it out, put there, take it out, put there. 8 hours every day. The same job for 25 years. How there can be charm in life? Exactly the same thing happens. Like, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says in Bhaja Govindam, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athava Danam. Our spiritual life, or rather religious life, is mechanically. We go to the temple and thereafter we start going there as a sanitation inspector. See? And then become frustrated. one young boy in Haridwar, he came with me. And he was so, he was an engineer, so disturbed. He saw it, this is what is Hinduism. And he was showing on the Har Ki Pauri Ganges, one bullock has done the bullshit. So the whole thing was lying there. Then he said, is this Hinduism? I said, no, this is a cow dung. It's not Hinduism. How it is dirty. See the people, they just remove their clothes and just take bath and again put on the same clothes. How dirty it is. I said, very good, it is dirty. Then, what do you feel? He asked me. I said, look here, first of all sit cool. I said, what I am seeing is, it is the same Ganges, on the banks of which millions of saints and sages have lived. Bhagwan Rama lived here. All the great masters, they have got inspiration from this Ganges. And I find myself extremely lucky, happy to be associated with that tradition of spiritual giants. This is what I am seeing the Ganges. You have not come here as a sanitation inspector. You have come here as a devotee. See, friends, like a mother loves her spastic child more than the healthy child. See, friends, unless we understand this principle, that we have to change our vision, and this change in the vision is mind is cool, alert and vigilant. Alertness is the mind going in the wrong direction, vigilant. Is the mind reacting or acting? Normally our mind reacts. Let us stop this reactionary habit of the mind. And what is the reaction? Perception is immediately followed by projection. Somebody is good, somebody is bad, something valuable, something, and constantly agitations. With such a disturbed inside, the outside relationship in our professional life cannot be perfect. Therefore, professional life is okay. We have to learn, update ourselves with the requirement, is okay. But that updating is possible to be executed if the instrument by which we are executing, called the mind, if this mind is taken care of perfectly well, not otherwise. This is what we understand by the spirituality and the professional balance in life. Therefore, you will see, all the great masters, they were professional later. Basically, they were spiritual. If you take the life of Einstein, whenever he was caught up in some problem, he used to have a room below, a vault kind of thing. In that room there was nothing, only one chair. When he is unable to handle a particular mathematical or any physics problem, he will not go and, he will simply go and sit down. And the cool, quiet, non-sleepy, alert, vigilant mind gives solutions and answers to all the problems. A reactionary mind, it is constantly agitated and disturbed, creates problem, cannot solve the problem. Therefore, let us lead the spiritual life 24/7. And spiritual life has nothing to do with the external signs. Religious life, yes. Philosophical life, yes. Religious life, you have to have various kinds of marks on you. A big frock and then a rosary with a om or with a Bhagwan Krishna or with a cross, religious. Spiritual life is the inner life, and it is reflected in our every activity, reflected in every word, reflected in every thought. Then there is no problem of disbalancing. Our balance will be established. It is possible and it must be done. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. You can switch off that. Again the red button you switch.